Hi team! Thanks for coming to my video today. I wanted to talk today about the different positions on the soccer field. When we're playing a soccer game, we have 9 players on the field at one time. In 2 more years, we'll have 11 players on the field, but for now, 9 is enough. And each of those players has a different job on the field. But today, mostly, we're going to talk about the 4 main jobs. We have forwards, midfielders, defenders, and goalies. And there's actually different kind of jobs inside each one of these jobs, but we won't talk about those too much. We're going to talk about the 4 main jobs today. Okay, first we have defenders. The defender's main job is to stop the other team from getting into a position where they can take a shot at our goal. We definitely do not want the other team to score goals. We have 3 defenders on the field at any one time. The one in the middle of the other 2 is called the center back, mostly because they're playing in the center. And the other 2 on the outside, they're called fullbacks. I don't really know why they're called fullbacks, but that's what they're called. They're the defenders, kind of on the outside of our defense. These defenders, they play in front of our goalie just a little bit, and they're working together to make sure we keep a really good shape in front of the other team. Defenders are usually some of the biggest players on the field. Defenders are kind of aggressive and they like to be in the way of the other team. But that doesn't mean they don't have to run around a lot. The center back probably does the least amount of running. But those outside backs, or fullbacks, is that what I call them? They might have to run back and forth across the whole field quite a bit. And sometimes they even get to run all the way up to the front and try and score a goal. But mostly when our team has the ball, our defender's job is to get that ball up to our midfielders. And just like defense, we usually have 3 midfielders. And each one of those midfielders kind of plays a different role in the middle of the field. We have a defensive midfielder who stands in front of our defense and really works hard to slow that other team down before they even get to our defenders. The defensive midfielder might have to do quite a bit of running side to side and run from front to back, but their main job isn't usually to score a goal. Instead, they're one of those midfielders who really helps our defenders to stop the other team from scoring a goal. The next kind of midfielder is called a center midfielder, because they're in the center. Sometimes they're called a box-to-box midfielder. That's because they run from one end of the field all the way to the other end of the field and all the way to the other end of the field. Even though I guess there's no boxes in the field, that's kind of weird. But those center midfielders, they sure do play a lot during the game. They play a lot to help our defenders, and they play a lot to help our attackers. Oh, and they play a lot to help the center midfielders. Wait, that's them. Speaking of people who like to run a lot, we have our attacking midfielder. That attacking midfielder, they might run from the front to the back, to the side, to the top, to the bottom. Actually, I don't know what that means. But they run a lot. And usually there are some of our players who are the very best at dribbling the ball and making really good passes to our teammates. And they're actually kind of good at shooting the ball too. That attacking midfielder, they're pretty exciting. The attacking midfielder, they're pretty important on our team. But one of the most important things that the attacking midfielder does is they become part of the attack. We're going to attack the other team. Okay, that sounds kind of mean. Actually, we're trying to score goals. And the attacking midfielder is part of our group who really is trying to score the goal together. Sometimes they're passing to the forwards, and sometimes they're running up with the forwards. And the attacking midfielder gets to take a lot of shots. Speaking of forwards, we should talk about this last group. Right now we usually only have 2 forwards on the field at one time. And there's really 2 different kinds of forwards. First, we have the striker. Doesn't that sound pretty cool? Well, the striker tries to score the goal a lot. They're trying to score a lot of goals. And sometimes we have strikers who don't run around the field quite as much as other players. But sometimes we have strikers who love to run and play really fast. The striker's job is to get the ball from our other players and try to put it into the other team's goal. They take lots of shots and run right at the other team's defenders. I think being a forward sounds pretty cool. Which is probably why mostly when I play, I'm not the forward. I actually like playing defense a lot more. There's another kind of forward called a winger, who we won't actually have too much of this year. The winger usually runs really high up the side of the field and makes really big passes all the way to the striker. But since we only have 2 forwards, they'll probably both be kind of like strikers. And a forward on our team probably will have to run a lot. Wait, that means the defenders have to run a lot. And the midfielders have to run a lot. And the forwards have to run a lot. So if you don't like to run, you might be in the wrong business. Because running is a big part of soccer. Alright, so there's 3 different main kinds of jobs there. Forwards, midfielders, and defenders. Oh wait, there's actually 4. We have a goalie too. The goalie has to be right in the way when the other team is trying to score a goal. And the goalie gets to cheat a little bit compared to all the other players on the field. They could use their hands. Well, they can use their hands if they're close to their goal. Goalies have to be really brave because the other team shoots the ball right at them. Sometimes it's coming at their face, or their stomach, or their feet, I guess. And they've got to stop this ball from going into our net. And after they stop the ball from going into our net, our goalie has to decide where the ball's gonna go. They look around the field really fast and see which player they could toss it to. They can throw it with their hands. Or they can do a drop kick. Or they can set it on the ground and kick it like everyone else kicks it too. Goalies are pretty brave, that's for sure. Alright, so what position do you think you want to play? Goalie? Defender? Midfielder? Forward? This is a tough decision. But I have good news for you. You don't have to choose just one. Dude, you're only like 10 years old. That means we could try them all. Which means when we go to practice, you gotta make sure you know how to do every position. But now really is a good time to start thinking, which position do you like the best? And knowing that will help you practice that position even more. Okay, well that's enough for today. Think about the positions on the field, and let's talk about what you want to do. Thanks for watching, everyone. And don't forget, play united. See you later.